to Gems Uncut. I'm Heather.
And I'm Molly. Let's cut
Cut
it
it up.
up. So today, girl math versus girl finance.
Yes, we all know a little bit about the TikTok trend phenomenon of girl math, and I've definitely been guilty of thinking about girl math, but girl finance is so much better.
Yes, I think we're all guilty of it. And I think things like girl math have been around for a long time. It finally became a trend and it is showing up on everyone's social media feeds. And so I think it's a perfect thing to talk about.
What are some examples of girl math?
Yeah, well, girl math, I think at the end of the day is the instant gratification is like really where it stems from, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a gift card, so it's free. Even if
Ooh.
maybe my gift card isn't the whole value of what I'm buying, so then I only have to pay like 5, 10 bucks. It's free. Maybe it's the smaller purchases, like
Mm-hmm.
the Starbucks coffee or whatever your
Right.
um Vice is on that, but that $5 drink or
Yeah.
$8 drink that you
Adds
get
up.
a couple days a week, every month,
Right.
that's a big part of your budget.
I know the one that I'm probably most guilty of is going and doing my $300 Zara haul and then returning $200 of it. And oh my gosh, I only spent $100. I have $200 that's free that I can just go spend anywhere now.
Right, right.
Or if we go on the all inclusive trips or any trip in general and we prepay for it months and months in advance, and by the time the trip gets there, hey, I got a free trip I go on. I can splurge on this trip now.
Yeah, yeah. I can spend more money because I didn't pay anything to be on this. And it's like, well, you did over 12 months or whatever the time frame was. I think really it's really kind of boils down back to like another podcast we've done, the budgeting thing. Girl math is all fun things typically, and it's adding more to that fun side and taking more out of your budget. Um, I think another example that just like popped in my mind, I can't believe this one hasn't come up. It's on sale.
On sale yet. Buy three, get one free.
Yeah, yeah. Or I know on my vacation a couple weeks ago, I saw a really nice Patagonia sweater. They're pretty expensive full price, and
Right.
it was on sale for a really good cost, and I was like wanting to buy it just because it was a good deal. Yes, and I was like, oh man, I could definitely use this again. And I walked around the store with that in my hand for probably 5 to 10 minutes and I was wrestling with it. I ended up not getting it because I talked myself out of that girl math moment of just buying it because it was on sale.
I can relate to that. My therapy is going shopping and buying something new after a bad day, it can really turn my day around like no other. And sometimes if I walk around the store with it in my hand long enough, it's like logic starts to creep back in. So maybe
Hmm.
that's a tip for, when you're shopping and you're like, I really shouldn't be shopping, but I need to make myself feel better. Walk around just a little bit longer, let reality have a little bit more time to sink in and be
Yes.
like, damn, I actually was really saving for this car. And it's not instant gratification. I know I'm still a year away from being fully funded, but if I don't spend $100 on these Lululemon leggings, and I put them back on the rack and I head home and I move that $100 directly into my fund that is for the car, you do it. Your
Yes.
future self will be super excited about
Yes.
it.
And I mean, even if you think about just the shopping in general, I know we have all been there. I definitely love shopping myself. In that moment, I was like thinking, do I have other sweaters this color? And I was thinking about all these things. Do I really need it? How much would I wear it? And one of the things that came into my mind when I would wear it was when I go skiing. I don't go skiing that often. I wish I did, but like maybe once every couple years. So I was like, okay, fine. Like I can't buy this just because it's a good deal. And I
Right.
think we need to have that mindset sometimes is like, what do I need? What do I want? I mean, which is
Mm,
really, again, going back to the basics
the
of
self
budgeting.
discipline.
Yeah. And I think another thing is if we do have that habit, like we brought up earlier, the daily coffee, it's like, well, if I didn't do that, well, now I have more money to go shopping or whatever
Right.
that thing may be. And instead of that mindset of now I can put this into my fund, my savings, my investment for XYZ goals. So,
Mm-hmm.
as much as we love the humor of girl math, I
Yeah.
definitely am loving the videos that I see. I've laughed. I've definitely sent some. It's cute, funny. But at the end of the day, we love some self-awareness a little bit more. So
Mm-hmm.
having those moments where it's like, do I really need to do this? No, I don't need to buy the Patagonia sweater. Putting that away. We love that a little bit more because now I have money freed up that
Yeah.
I was thinking of budgeting here, but really should go to my saving
Right.
category.
Absolutely. So, to switch gears here and to get the brain working, we're going to switch from girl math to girl finance because, well, we all got to grow up at some point. But we're taught to shrink our spending, and we're not necessarily here to be like, don't go buy the shoes. It's everything can fit in the budget. You've got to live for today too and tomorrow. But with girl finance, we want to talk about growing our income. Ask for that salary raise. Have some self discipline of, your needs and your wants and really breaking down that budget to where you feel confident in what you're saving.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point of like asking for that raise or that salary. I think that's lack of education that we have out there is if we're interviewing or we are in that annual review with our boss, is knowing what we want and asking for it because you don't get what you don't ask for at the end of the day. And you know what? The worst thing that can happen is no, or it's the awareness that, okay, Heather, I realize this is important to you. Whether or not I can give this to you now, I know this is important to you and I want to
Mm-hmm.
help work there. I mean, that's signs of a good environment that you're in, but that's something that can help with the girl finance of like, I am
Right.
climbing the ladder. I'm able to have more inflows to help fund these other goals.
Absolutely. I mean, when we think about saving or investing money and compounding interest and rates of return and growth, that instant gratification of just using the dollar today to buy something or it's on sale. So couponing, the compounding interest that if we just, let's say something costs $100, well, we put that $100 into our investment and let that continue to compound. Our future self is always going to thank us.
Absolutely. And I mean, other mindset items with girl finance. It's I maxed out my retirement accounts, not my credit cards. I invested in some assets or funds for these XYZ goals. And that's going to help me get that freedom to do these things later versus my paycheck being the only thing helping me get there.
It's very hard to and painful to think about, but the what ifs in life that are almost always neglected when meeting with clients and trying to figure out what their goals are, but point out their vulnerabilities because that's what we are there for as well. But the life insurance, the disability insurance, because those what ifs in life do happen, and neglecting that can absolutely blow up everything you've worked hard for. Or if you are just getting started and you don't have anything, that's a long road ahead of needing help from others and hoping to get that help.
So, what I understand is girl finance is thinking and setting up the future self versus girl math is only today.
Exactly.
And there is a balance between enjoying today, planning for tomorrow.
Right.
Because, of course, tomorrow's not guaranteed. I know there's a lot of people out there with that mindset, but most of us are going to have another tomorrow. Most of us are going to live well into retirement. If we don't plan for that, then we're going to not have a fun and happy retirement or whatever that may be, or we're stressing ourselves out for that car payment and whatnot. So, I think at the end of the day, it's girl finance is a choice and it's wealth building at its
Right.
core.
Right.
So, what can you do to have more of this like girl finance mind, or how do we even get there?
I think talking to a professional, just seeking help. If you are lucky enough to grow up with parents that give you some good financial nuggets at a young age and instill that saving behavior, because we know plenty of people that have had that good advice and stick to it, and it's great because when they meet with us, it's like, hey, you're ahead of the game. Like, let's get you even further. But for those people that, you didn't get that advice at a young age and we're spending everything that we're making on a monthly basis, let's take a step back. Let's seek advice because we've seen it all over the place. I mean, social media has just touched so many lives and made so many more people aware of everything in life, finances being a big one. And you're aware at this point that, shoot, I might need to start looking into some of these investments that I never knew anything about before because I didn't grow up hearing about it or anything. And if we weren't in the industry, there's a lot that we wouldn't know either. Picking up the resource, if this podcast made you giggle and you're like, oh my gosh, my girlfriends and I talk about this all the time, reach out to us. We would love to help and be a resource, point you in the direction of where your goals are going. But just talking to a professional, because
Yeah.
CFP, financial advisor, someone with that fiduciary responsibility that will take your goals as the initiative and not try to just sell you something, but really break down how your financial household should start being built from the foundation up.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point as like, your parents, if you were lucky to have this education. I know we have a whole nother podcast on that, but like I think about my own parents and I feel like they helped me understand the power of saving. But that doesn't mean they knew everything and every single piece of advice they had in that realm was like the absolute best.
Right.
So I do think it's like, take those good things, and not all good ideas come from one person,
Right.
right? I mean, that's why we work as a team. I know when we work together, it's like sometimes you see things differently and have a different spin on it, and same to me. And it's like two heads are better than one. So like, why should you go down this girl math, girl finance journey by yourself? I don't believe you should. I think you absolutely need help. I think a couple other things that like, what can you do? I have what's the opportunity cost? And I don't think we've ever talked about that, but I think that's a huge one, especially when it's the extra spending of money. What's opportunity cost? Is, hey, if I spend my $100 on this clothing haul, the opportunity cost is that I could have put this $100 in my investment. While this yielded, my clothing haul yielded me nothing but clothes, this $100 could have yielded me 10% in the market in my investment, or, of course, whatever that rate of return might be.
Right.
But now I could have had $110 if
Yeah.
it did yield that 10%.
Compounding. And just simply like, if you're in college, if you're not in college, you're getting in the marketplace, they're asking you if you want to sign up for retirement, or sometimes you're automatically enrolled and you're not really sure of what that benefit even is. But the opportunity cost of not starting right when you have the opportunity, and being, I'm 30 now and I don't have any savings or anything like that's, I mean, you start when you're 23, fresh out of college, just doing what you can and surviving, versus 30 and trying to play catch up. It's night and day.
Right, right. And you're the youngest you're ever going to be right now. So everyone says, I wish I would have started, yesterday, sooner,
Right.
younger, saved more, etc. And so it's like, no matter what it is, start now. I think another mindset thing is, what would your future self say? Is your future self happy you bought this Patagonia sweater? Or are they
Right.
happy you didn't? And it's like, I look back and I'm like, I'm really glad I didn't. If I did, I'm like, okay, like I would not have had the use out of it, and the opportunity cost would have been
I like
just
that.
enough. Have that like mindset of make one powerful money move. Even if it's a simple, you know what, I'm going to cut back my Starbucks runs, or, try to be purposeful with my returns, and I'm not going to think I can spend that on more clothes.
Yeah.
So I think it's really that mindset is you're not bad with money just because you bought something, but we need to like work together for that plan to be purposeful.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about what you want. Your future self will thank you. But at the end of the day, we always have to give ourselves grace, stay consistent, because every gem
Starts uncut.